Hey, each and yeah, that's right. That's what I did. Each and everybody, and welcome to another Smoke and Mirrors. This episode is brought to you by the Dark Seas. They show up in all of our lives sometimes, and we all need a little help. And sometimes we can help each other through it. And now, here's a song. Some time in our lives, we all have pain. We all have... Okay, stop. That's enough. All right, and now here they are, your venerable host, Carlos Karim Wyndham. Okay. So much things happening all at once. You don't even know. Watch. It's fine, though. We're good. The Glockenspiel, so we know it's real. Hi. I don't know what sort of Magnum PI kind of I don't know, like Cabo beachfront puka shell joke I'm playing on myself with this shirt, but I like it. I like it a little bit. Hey, there are some things I want to tell you about, and then we'll get into what we're going to get into. If you saw at the top of the show, in the runner, I did, in fact, include the phone number for the National Suicide Hotline. Today, I want to give you a heads up before we get into it, is going to be a little bit real and a little, some news-oriented, very personal. Going to try and be a little vulnerable, and we'll be talking about depression. So if that is a thing that feels like a lot for you right now, or that is something that for your celebration of Pride is more than you can handle, I fully understand. I don't. In fact, I don't blame you even a little bit if watching me be vulnerable and talk about what Black vulnerability means and requires is not your cup of tea, your cup of coffee. I do not blame you in the mean. But if you are here with us, if you're one of us, hey, listen, get yourself a warm bevy. Load up on the fucks. Because no one gives more of a fuck than somebody who says they don't give a fuck. And boy, I say that a lot. All right. Some things that are coming up that you're going to want to know about, though. I've been having some great conversations here beneath the Philosopher's Tree, and that is going to continue on Tuesday, June the 8th. I will be here with creator, artist, DJ, father, and filmmaker, now DJ. I said DJ already because I've known him as DJ Musa Bailey for most of our adult lives. Denver's own Musa Bailey will be here beneath the Philosopher's Tree with me on Tuesday, June the 8th. Please do tune in for that. Hey, there's an album that I'm on, and it's called And We Ride. And the band is called Wallace. It is contemporarily, I don't know why I said that, because I meant currently available at the Bandcamp for purchase. And that is how bands are staying alive right now. I just read an article saying that folks are saying that bands don't matter anymore, that only singers matter now, and that there is a death of the band happening. I hope that's not true. Prove them wrong. Buy the album. Give it a spin or two on Spotify if you like. That would be okay too. Hey, you know what? You could support this too. You could come over and support it in so many ways. If you're watching it, you're already supporting it. That supports it. Hey, are you somebody who's new, who's seen any of the wonderful interviews, and now you're here just because you want to be here? Well, great. You could support it too by just giving us a like, giving us a click, a pound, a smashing a button that is the thing. You know, wherever you are, YouTube, Facebook, press the ones that are the right ones that let people know you approve of this show. That's usually very much more organized in my thoughts and in my pregame, and today it is not. If you would like to support it by dropping $5 on it, there are 3 ways you can do that. And now listen, I'm going to say this. Feel free. Feel free. If you want to drop 2, 5, 20, 30, 40, 50, right there on it, you can. And you can do that to where? To us, because when you do that to us, that means that the me of us gets to pay the all of us who are involved with this endeavor. So you can do that and help us out at the Venmo, at Carlos-Wyndham at the Cash App, at $CK Wyndham at the PayPal /me.CK Wyndham. Listen, I want to be honest. I'm never going to bogart. This is for free. This is for funsies. It came from a place, and we'll get into it in a little bit, but it does help out with the snacks, the smokes, all of the things that go into it. The folks who do that on the regular and on the monthly and do make the sacrifice, and we do appreciate it and do recognize it, are the folks who are the patrons of this here art. Those are the folks that it sounded like I said this here fart. What I said was this here fine art, but then what I did is I made a conjunction, and so this here fart can be supported at the Patreon at Smoke and Mirrors CCB. Patreon at Smoke and Mirrors CCB. Sometimes I go old school and read out each and every one of the names who is one of the supporters. Today, I'm not doing that. I am, however, giving a shout out to a very particular supporter. We got a bump in support from Kelly. Kelly raised their support to the $20 a month level. Come on, get out of my face with it. Love it. Thank you so much, Kelly. It does make a difference, and for everyone for whom this little broadcast does make a difference, that support does help. It helps us help you, helps us help us. I don't know if it helps you, but it helps us, helps me. So thank you, I think, is the phrase for which I was fumbling right there. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you to our once supporters. Thank you to our future supporters. Thank you to our guests of the last several weeks. I was thinking about this in me head because that's where I hold my thoughts. And over the last 3 weeks, got to talk to Sahir from Marsha's Plate. And we had a brilliant conversation there, and then got to talk to Sonia Renee Taylor, both about her upcoming book, her current essay, and the entire voyage that she is on with The Body Is Not an Apology, and got to do that international style. What? Shut up. Didn't know she was in New Zealand. Now I know. And got to do that again just Tuesday with Bad Dominicana with our new friend Sahira. And man, I am a lucky person. I am a very lucky person to get to have these conversations. I talk about it because, as you know, these conversations are a thing that were stumbled on. And were a bit of a life raft for me to find my way through what has been, in many other ways, one of the hardest and most challenging years that I have faced, but not in the ways that are true for so many. Not personally. I haven't lost anyone close to me to Corona, to COVID-19. Um, in the protest, friends of mine have been injured, to be sure, but all have lived, at least so far. Where threats have been made against the lives of people I care about and I love, those people are still here. Where nature would, of its own accord, threaten the lives of people I love, healthcare, for all of the problems that we face with it in the United States, has been serving and hopefully will continue to serve, in our survival and in our thriving. And when I say an hour, myself as well, right? I've spent some time bouncing around the challenges of the healthcare systems of late, and that has not been fun. Have been misgendered there, and I understand why. I know what I look like. I know what I sound like. And I know what the designations of the most readily visible of those are, happen to be in the United States. And then we work on a gender binary that doesn't exist because neither gender nor the binary does. Discuss. No. So, we've all been going through it. Everybody has. Some have had more difficulties, some fewer, but all of our difficulties are difficulties. All of our difficulties are difficulties. Raven, I know you, my friend, were in the hospital recently, right? Our team, our smoke and mirrors team, us. We've been affected, and we don't know how, and we don't know why, right? Health effects that we can't identify, impacts that we certainly can, and from whence they come, I don't know, right? All sorts of things, and I would wager that we're all going to have some new mental health issues going forward, from all of this isolation. And it was a thing that I could take in stride for the time that we had to, because we did have to, and it was important to. And now that we are reconnecting, it is difficult. And it is different. I partied like it was 1999 the other night, or 1920, 1921, and I did a performance over there at the Alberta Street Pub, and there's a girl in the purple jumpsuit, in the Wild Fang, doing big things with Aaron Wallace, my co-collaborator in Wallace, along with Red Ray Fraser, along with Ezra Holbrook, doing some funky things for the people there. We do hope that you will join us with some of the adventurous things that we're planning for you on the 13th of next month as well, if you happen to be in Portland. Yeah, well, thank you, baby. Do you see the smile? My child noted that when they see, she sees pictures of me in artistic form, I often seem to have a smile. Here, I am very damp because it was 98 degrees, and our whole team, because of a suggestion from my band leader, was in jumpsuits. So it was hot, And that may have been a decision that was made when it was not as hot. And so it was juicy. All that to say, you see me here like this. You see me in those conversations very often. And you see me, if live, maybe a bit like this. There's another way that I often show up, more often show up than not recently. And I want to be vulnerable and I want to be honest because I go through it like everyone does. And I have a hard time like everyone does. And it is, I don't think for any of us pretty when it happens. And I'm no exception. Recently, I have found myself bursting into tears. And I often say for no reason. Definitely serving like a cross-eyed Shaquille O'Neal thing, trying to look at the camera so that I could document this reality. But it is a reality. And I think it's happening to more of us than we talk about, right? We talk, even when we see each other, about how difficult it can be, how difficult it has been, especially for those in isolation. But I want to wager after having seen a few things that parents are having a harder one than you might even think, and parents of multiples even more. Single parents of multiples even more. Those of us who are in ISO and ill, that's not good. And I'm not going to say take away more from all of those. It's not a comparison. We're not comparing and contrasting. There's just a lot of colors available, and it comes from a place. And it's not in your head, and you are not alone. Started with this bad boy, right? Kaya, peace to you. The Rona, COVID's. And because it did, it means that we're dealing with compounded levels of stressors, right? Compounded misery, as it were. And it becomes harder and harder to deal with addressing the depressions that can be associated, the sadnesses that can be associated with any one of them when there are multiple. And there are so very few of us for whom there are not multiple right now, right? Now, if you're a new participant under the philosopher's tree, you're a new viewer to Smoke and Mirrors, you may not know that when I say for many of us, I am speaking directly to black and brown listeners, viewers, participants, sitters beneath the tree, those who've been here. I don't doubt that this is also true for white folks. I'm sure that there are. I cannot speak culturally with any specificity to it, nor is it my desire to do any kind of translating or code switching. So welcome to watch, welcome to observe, welcome to be here. If something is gained from it, wonderful. And I hope so, right? Because we're talking about human experiences, but they're going to be coming from these perspectives. From black, from brown, from queer, from non-binary perspectives, and trapped in a very often male-perceived body, and unapologetically so. Absolutely. All right, so year and change ago, all of our lives, just everything, right? We had watched Infinity War just a couple of months prior. We all had plans, and we were okay. I was going on tour. Dahlia and I were going to try to go on tour last summer and do probably like a half hour each. Gonna record it, put it on an album, sell it, a comedy album, actual party record. We were gonna do it, and maybe it wouldn't have been ready quite yet. I think it's gonna be even better now when we're gonna do it, and there's gonna be something there. Everybody had all sorts of plans, relationships that could have used whatever level of tending. I've heard of many relationships that were born through this pandy that could use tending, I'm sure, as well. Whether those be with parents, whether those be with lovers, whether those be with children, right? Relationships are relationships, and it's the fabric of life, and that got torn and blown asunder. And then for us, it got worse. Because of course it does. Because any assumption that perhaps a pandemic would be the sort of thing to bring all of humanity together and we would start working in unison and unify toward a collective goal, were blown asunder with the murder of George Floyd and the continued abuses of black and brown bodies. Sandra Bland. So many. So many that it's hard for me to remember. So many that for a time we were keeping track of everybody on our picture pages card with the question, am I next? That's how many. And the ability to think that we would all unify under any level of black leadership, like Will Smith, if the aliens were to come, ended up being proven completely false when we learned that white people were going to steal all of the toilet paper. Little did they know, bidets exist. Anyway, we weren't all going to be unified. That was clear. The protests and everything that we have lived through, everything that we've lived through since then, right? It seems like it's a never ending litany. And I don't know. Well, let me say this. I don't know how folks who don't have a therapist who you trust are able to do it. I do. I am blessed. I am blessed. I found her on a website called Therapy for Black Girls. I'm sure there is one for those who are dedicated to and embracing gender binaries. I'm sure there's one called Therapy for Black Men, or Therapy for Black Boys, or Therapy for Black People. If you cannot find or afford an individual therapist of that sort right now, there are a lot of the 1-800 therapist sites where they actually connect you now to a live telecom therapist. Now, the problem with that is that the intermediary that is meant to just be some robots that are just collecting your information to figure out how to get you aligned with the best therapist possible or whatever, and it erases all of your name, they say, from the thing, the recordings, and so they don't know whose is whose, and they're just, well, which are the therapists that are working, which are the therapists that's not, whatever, right? There's still an intermediary, right? I would suggest, if possible, finding somebody that you can talk to, your own person, And listen, I already know if you haven't done this yet and you've been putting it off, I already heard you. Okay. You don't want to have to explain your whole life again. It's too much. They won't understand you. Not at first. They won't. No, because you have to be open. You have to be vulnerable. You're going to have to do some of the work too. Right? So find your therapists. Start there, right? Self-help books if you can't get one. Self-help books. A journal. Oh, a journal. A journal. A journal. Write it down. Write it down. Just a simple exercise. Hey, sit down. Cup of fucks. Have a cup of fucks. Pen, paper. Have a seat, and don't lift the pen from the paper. Just start writing. Just writing for 20 minutes. Get it out. Get it out. You know? Get it out. Don't hold it in. Because if you're holding it in, you're holding in secrets. And we do too much of that in our community. We hold in secrets because we're supposed to. You can't be your whole full self at work. You can't wear glasses with the thing unless it's done ironically. You can't possibly be your whole entire person where you are. Well, fuck all that. That costs. There's a weight to each and every one of those secrets. The things that you did not tell your parents in childhood that happened on the schoolyard. The things that happened because of your parents that you did not tell the adults at the school. There's a weight to each of them. And if we hold that for too long, it will crush us. And that's why we cannot. That's why we have to break those cycles. We must tell our truths. And we must live unapologetically black, unapologetically queer, if it fits, unapologetically yourself. Because whatever else you are, you're somebody's child, you're somebody's parent, somebody's friend, somebody's lover, somebody's community, somebody's producer, somebody's viewer. You're somebody. Beyond all of the rest of whatever limitations the world would want to put on us, or that we would put on ourselves. And when I was speaking with producer Tracy before the show about that, and we were talking about what to talk about on the show today, after having had so many spectacular guests here sharing their spectacular truths, what kind of thing is it if I come and then Joshua throws a whole bunch of pictures over here and I just tell a bunch of jokes? If we don't lay the groundwork for what else is possible. And one of the realities is that, again, the way forward is being shown us by the young, and again, by the women and the femmes in our communities. Naomi Osaka, seen here, being number one in the world, huh? Getting ready to fuck it up at the French Open. Getting ready to just fuck it up at the French Open. And said that she is dealing with some shit and is not so interested in doing the pressers right now. And they said, how come you don't want to do the pressers? She said, well, because you guys are kind of full of shit at the pressers, and sometimes they can make you not feel great, and they can even make you question yourself. And they said, oh, that's not true. That can't be true. Well, but that is what she looks like at the pressers. And I don't know if you're familiar with it. I don't know if you know this look, but that is the look of a black woman who is done with your shit. That's what that is. And she was deeply done with the shit for so many deep reasons. And didn't want to get into all of it. Wasn't here to expose everybody. Wasn't here to blow everybody's spot up. Just said, hey, listen, I'm not going to go to the pressers, and I'm still going to play the game. I'm going to do the thing. I'm not going to do that. Whatever we got to do about it, let's do that. And what the tennis people did, they fined her more than anybody has ever been fined for such a thing ever in history. The youngest, blackest, mixest girl got fined more than anybody ever in history. Very interesting. Very interesting, considering that this is the sport from which Andre Agassi and John McEnroe were born. It's the irony of the ways in which those young men were not only celebrated, but brought into fame, new levels of fame, selling and making sale after sale after sale off of their anger. That was the. I've seen privileged Spanish and white boys. I'm just going to say white boys, because if you're a Spanish boy who happens not to be brown, you're just a white boy. Breaking tennis rackets. Break it. Just smash it. Okay. Here's what we know. I'm going to break a boy code. Here's a boy code. I know that this is the way that boys and men get away with breaking shit and throwing things is to say, hey, I didn't hit you. I'm smashing stuff. That's not violence. Except here's the thing. The stuff that is being smashed represents you. And the referee knew it. And every man on earth knew it. And that was perfectly well allowed. Having that kind of an emotional meltdown and hissy fit. Yep, let's do some of that. I can't, you're hurting my feelings. I don't want to come. Nah, we can't have that. We're going to have to take all your money. That's how that has to go. It is a lot. It is a lot. But by leaving the French Open altogether, which was her choice, and answer, when she said, I need a break. They said, yeah, okay, no. And if you do it again, we're going to fuck up your money even more. And she said, oh, say word, bye. And just left. which if you happen to be one of the sponsors, the Cannons, all of these other places that we're making all of the money off of Agassi and the rest, you might want to think it through. You might want to not have the biggest star in the sport right now fucking off. That probably is not the way to bring eyes to your thing. You want the star to be there, to not to have to do multiple exposés on the white supremacy inherent in insisting that doing the press to make you feel better, to get to ask fucked up questions, is part of her job. That would be part of her job. I don't know. Anyway, she's changing what the definition is because it's going to have to be reconsidered now. And mental health is going to have to be reconsidered as well. Because her whole person is going to have to be considered. Because when a black woman has a look of, I am sick to death of this bullshit on her face, things are going to get reconsidered or things are going to get broken. This was taught us by Mama Marsha. I only bring this up to say, we haven't said lots and lots about Pride, but I do want to say this. Pride is a riot, not a parade. It's a riot. And if you keep fucking it up, we'll throw a brick through your goddamn tennis net. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. It's amazing that the consideration of the well-being of those athletes is still extended only as far as their bodies. Yeah? The mental wellness of the men, of the women, right? We've been re-examining the Malice in the Palace some 20 years on. 20 years, 30 years. I'm old. I don't know. 20 years later. A fight that happened at a basketball arena. Cause white people decided that spitting and throwing things on the athletes was okie dokie to do. Which they're doing again now. Which is a bit of what Naomi was being asked to subject herself to still. Oh, when I say that, what I'm saying is that she has been for years working and living in a hostile work environment. And what? Thank you. Seasoned. I like to think of it as seasoned. Perhaps the beard is getting chromed. Or very quickly gentrified. I recently got back my report from 23andMe, and what I found out is that I, through the process of colonialism, imperialism, and rape, the same turducken that made my name, I might be. I'm definitely Native. I am absolutely definitely Native. I know this. I am 100% clear that I am black and I have lived a phenotypically and experientially black American life. Clear on this too. Genetically, I may be 48% white and British at that. So it seems like ever since I discovered that the white hairs in my beard are using that information as land rights claims, and that the settler movement is just rapid fire. They are pushing the black hairs out like an Israeli Jew pushes a Palestinian into the sea. There's jokes. Told you I'd have some jokes. Tell you what, if they stop doing that, I'll stop making the jokes about the genocide. If they stop the genocide, then I won't tell any more genocide jokes about my beard. Anyway, what the fuck was I talking about? I don't know. Hey, you know what I fucked up? Speaking of genocide, giving a pass. I wonder if that's why I gave a pass. I shouldn't have given a pass. And so, okay, I'm not calling just people to the table. That's not how we do it. I said I was going to be vulnerable. I cried. We've laughed. It's become a part of you. But also, too, I gotta be honest, and I gotta call me to the table because producer Tracy called me to the table, and so I'm gonna. And here it goes. Kimmy Schmidt. Okay. So, I don't know if you keep up with Black Twitter. But Kimmy Schmidt, it seems, was found to have precipitated in an elitist princess ball when she was 19. And the history of that ball may also include the complete exclusion of black people. And also, too, that there may be some dressings that happen in the ball that are similar to things that happen in balls that the Klan hold. Now, that's not great, but that's reasonable. In that balls, cotillions, these sorts of things all happen in the South around the same kind of time frame, and so they're all going to kind of look the same. And also the idea of giving away or selling your daughter and letting it be known, hey, fuckable now, is weird. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. My mind has not been changed by changing the tone to daddy-daughter balls, which even that sentence, that those three words together, daddy-daughter balls, I don't like it. I don't like it. So, and always because also too, people keep inviting me, and while my child, who is a daughter, does call me daddy and papa, I'm not a daddy. I'm not going to the daddy ball. I'm not going to go to a daddy ball. It's never going to happen. Anyway, so Kimmy Schmidt won one when she was 19. Now, Kimmy Schmidt is from the South. The real person is from the South. Terrible place to be. But anywhere south of the Canadian border. And it was brought up. Now, Black Twitter had some things to say, as they would. And me and producer Tracy had the dialogue, and I was getting ready to get in Kimmy Schmidt's ass today. I was going to be there with it, with all the what 9 cents is this? That was going to be me. You could make a gif out of me, right? And then I saw all of the other articles, and there were many, saying, hey, let's slow down. She was 19. This is a going on 50-year-old woman. It's not the same person. Many things have changed. All of the context, all of the history. Let's be real. And is she, as this adult, to be responsible for 19? It's not like she's 20. That's a little different. And I thought, yeah, it's a little different. And so I wrote producer Tracy and I said, no, I can't do it because it's a little different. And producer Tracy said, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And I said, "What do you mean?" And producer Tracy said, "What the white nonsense are you fucking on about right now?" And I said, "What do you mean?" And then it was pointed out that the nonsense that I was on is the idea that there would be this room of grace and forgiveness, just granted, and that is this really the time and space where this is the person who needs such room granted? Do we need the privileges and the mistakes of white people just being rescued? And it's not even just that the mistake is granted, it's that a mistake happened. The first report was not mean. It was just, hey, this happened. This was what the thing was, and it's not that cool. And then Black Twitter read the thing and went, oh, yeah, well, fuck her. And then all the other reporters then went, hey, not Kimmy Schmidt. And then I went, hey, not Kimmy Schmidt. And I don't have any vested interest in rescuing Kimmy Schmidt from her own fucking Klan history. Like, why do I care? Why do I care? If she was in this ball, that means her father or her grandfather was in the Klan. I mean, it's not, right? Right? This isn't hard, right? It's like when these people in Portland start talking to us about like, hey, Portland's the whitest city in America, which, first of all, weird flex, fuck you. Second of all, no, it's not. And third, it comes with this second part that says, yeah, my parents were settlers. And there's like this proud piece that don't be proud of that. Don't be, because that means that your parents were people who stole the land. They're genociders. That's not good. It's not good. Let's not brag on that. 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 Yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough. So, again, for the sake of vulnerability and for being able to mourn and grieve and experience the reality of the depth of what it is to be in a real hostile workspace. I've been in a hostile workspace. I know what that is. And that's not getting called to the carpet for some shit you did that you thought was buried, right? That's not what that is. A hostile workspace is where you go to work and you can audibly hear people cheering every time you make a mistake or they are defeating you, or when people ask you things like, well, are you more Haitian or are you more Asian then? Or if people ask you stuff like, "Hey, what's going on with all your masks there? Those sure are cool." It gets tired, right? It gets tired, especially because it's not. There's not a fashion. This is not a fashion statement, right? This is a state. These are the. So when the reporter's asking this person, "Hey, Sarah, can't wait to see what name's going to be next. We're looking forward to it." I don't know why I made them Australian. I think they were English. I don't know what it was. Anyway, when that happens, and this person is displaying these names in mourning, maybe let's not make a cutesy wootsy game out of, oh, I can't wait to see what name is going to be next. Then maybe we can go to the mall and get a smoothie. When the same person tells you that these questions that you keep asking about their strength, finesse, power. Are they too young? Are they too Asian? Are they too black? Could they do it? Is it possible? Why are they here? Have them doubting themselves right before and right after matches, and that they don't really want to talk to you in between matches. Maybe, I don't know, you would restructure the entire thing such that it made sense, so that maybe there was a Q&A way before the whole thing happened, and then one way after all of the victors were declared, and that would be it for the obligation for the pressers, right? Because obviously it's not her, it's the system. She did not kill all of these people. The system did. She did not ask herself about these. The system did. She did not put herself in a position where she was going to have to play wearing face masks as though that were fucking normal in the first place. Which brings us all the way around to this. Nothing is fucking normal right now. This is not normal. It is not normal for everyone to have been forced into a homeschooling situation. It is not normal for a dredge newspaper to be trying to bring up some shit about an actor from years ago. It is not normal for there to be a conspiracy theory about and there's no such thing as cancel culture, even if that does happen. It is not normal for some weird right-wing nutbag conspiracy theorists to start pulling out 2,000 fucking emails from the top, one of the top scientists in the nation, and trying to say, see, emails redacted, we found the truth. And what the fuck are you talking about? I saw Fauci on the news. He was explaining what there was that was in the emails. Guess what it was? Poppycock. Nothing. The position hasn't changed. He thinks it was from animals to people. It may have happened in a lab. Doesn't think that's the most likely. If there's evidence that it did, then he'll consider it. In the meantime, still thinks it's the other thing. Got to wear the mask. It's better for you. Why did he tell his friend, don't wear a mask? Well, because before we realized that masks outside of a hospital were actually going to work, we weren't saying put on a mask. So if I had known then what I know now, would I say something different? Yeah, but did I know then what I know now? No. And that even when it's not normal, whiteness and its agents are going to do everything that they can to normalize whiteness and to convince us that we are the ones with the problem when we try to protect ourselves. Our bosses will gaslight us. They'll tell you that your office has been cleaned, that it's okay now. They'll try to trick you. They'll reframe things. They'll reframe it, right? Amazon now has those little pods for their workers. And they're starting at $15 an hour now. Ooh, and also no more screening for marijuana. Come get a job at Amazon. Come be an indentured servant. Come on in. Come be an Amazon sharecrop worker. Come on and do it. Obviously, I'm conflating. Don't. Yeah, no, it really is. The system is absolutely getting a tighter grip, and it is designed to loosen hours, right? So the wealthy, those who can afford it, traveling. I'm looking at tourists out the window right now. No masks, whole families, taking pictures. This is the house where Shrill is filmed. Yay. Or some other television show that's not that one, because I didn't just give you the GPS coordinates of where I am. Joshua, go back and erase that part. Thank you. The world is getting more insane. It is not you. It is the system. And the reason that you keep crying is because we are all much lonelier. Even those of us who don't recognize that and suppress that are stepping over the ghosts of dead bodies to return to what we thought of as normal. And empaths can't not feel what is happening in the world right now. And all of your strongest friends are empaths. Right? So, all that to say that I don't know what in the hell this was today. Usually it's the comedy and the culture and the blackness, and right now the culture is doesn't feel that funny. In a world where we are rushing to get athletes and entertainers, two of the only sociologically assigned roles that black people have access to, back out into their jobs, along with the frontline workers, the other jobs that are accessible to black and brown workers, and that their lives are endangered, right? And it now not only from COVID, but from fans literally hurling bottles that can endanger their physical presence, and hurling insults and defenses of white supremacy that continue to eat at the psyche of not only the black athletes, but the viewers, black viewers, who are brought to the sport simply because these black athletes are excelling. That is the normal to which we seem to be in such a rush to return. And I for one, just ask that we slow it. Let's slow it back down, just a little bit. Just a little bit. I'm not saying I don't want to return to normal, or I don't want to find a new normal. I do. Clearly, I'm out fiddling on the deck of the Titanic. I've done a couple of stand-up shows. I just did a couple of live music performances as well, both throughout the year and as recently as I just shared with you a couple of days ago, last Tuesday. And I will again, right? Limited capacity, safety, all the good things, but I will do it. And I hope I get to see some of you there. And I hope that it lifts your spirits for me and for my cohorts, my friends, my fellow funnies and musicians to be there doing the thing for you. I hope we know how much it matters. And that as we're doing this, that there's respect, right? None of these folks, myself included, is robot, right? I don't live in this corner, behind this desk, behind this computer screen. I live. as you live, and you deserve to. So thank you. Thank you. Oh, one of the things that's giving me life I wanted to share with you, though, before we go. You all know that I love a wildly inappropriate adult cartoon. That's my jam. That's what I like. But I don't, not all of them, because some of them are very, what's that word? Joshua? White. And I don't care about that. And a lot of them are very male oriented as well. And that is also not always my favorite. Anyway, there's one that I just rediscovered. I just gave it a second chance. I'm into it now. I'm binging. And just in time, just before the second season begins, Tuca and Birdie. This is one of the most vulnerable, most touching, most honest and direct. I have no idea what that was or where it fell from. Did y'all hear that? Something just fell over there. Joshua, we good? Okay. I don't know, get it. Pick it up after the show. Most honest and direct. In fact, after Josh and I picked that up this year, we're gonna go watch some Tuca Birdie. So fucking good. So fucking good. Honestly, also shout out to Tea with Queen and Jay. Once again, they also were talking about Naomi this week, and they were talking about her and her leaving in the framework of white supremacist capitalist patriarchy. So if you get the chance, and you're a podcast fan, friends of the show, check them out. And Janicia, Jay from the show, has been here, as has Queen. And when Jay and I were in conversation, we were talking about weird, gross adult cartoons, and that's when I found out that I have a proclivity for these because of they're about depression, and I might live with that. I might live with depression, but that's okay. I mean, a lot of times when we find out that we do have a mental illness, one of the things that is very upsetting is that with other illnesses in society, that we use this idea that, oh, I'm sick, so I'm going to go to a doctor so I can fix it by getting better, by getting the sick out, get it out of me. But the thing is, with the mental illnesses, is that you don't get this; they don't get out of you. It is you, right? And so it's not a question of getting it out of you. It's a question of knowing that you have a way of being that is healthy for you and functional, and a way of being that is harmful to you. And that way is your brain tricking you, and learning its tricks means that you can understand your opponent, and then you can defeat it. Then you can defeat it. And also keep going to therapy. And if they say get treatment. And absolutely. This Tuca Birdie, I'm telling you, it is the non-binary and femme and black and Asian, which we need more of in these days and times, answer to the very, very white and self-centric BoJack Horseman, which was the show, of course, that I spoke about with Jay. And I'm sorry, BoJack. Oh, my guy. No, I love you too. Still, we think you're great. It's fine. We think you're great. Yeah, it's good. I just hope he doesn't drown himself in a swimming pool again. This has been another Smoke and Mirrors, and thank you so much for joining us here today. This was a weird one. I don't know what we're doing, and I hope you liked it. I hope it was something. Let us know. Okay? Hey, if you like what we do, check us out at the IG. That is Instagram at Smoke and Mirrors CCB. You can also check us out on Twitter. That is Twitter at Caballo Negrito. Twitter at Caballo Negrito for the monolingual. That means go get a therapist. Twitter at go get a therapist. Caballo Negrito. Hey, do you have a suggestion? Do you have a thought, query about something maybe we would want to talk about here? Or someone with whom we might want to talk about it? Go ahead and drop us a line and let us know about that. That can be done at Smoke and Mirrors CCB. Smoke and Mirrors CCB. That's for the comedy. The culture and the blackness at gmail.com. Smoke and Mirrors CCB. This right here is a thing that was absolutely and expertly produced by the one and only Tracy Tatamy. Thank you so much for the work that you put in this week, Tracy. This was also produced and hosted by myself, Carlos Karim Wyndham. Hey, that 1-800 number, the suicide hotline right at the beginning of the show, not a joke. If you need it, go ahead and hit the rewind. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. Please do get the Vask. Still wear your mask. We'd love to see you back here on Tuesday when we're under the philosopher's tree with Musa Bailey. Why? Because we love you. Okay, bye-bye.